pillows, get under sturdy furniture, and if you're in a mobile home, abandon the mobile home and find a low-lying place.
Let's send things back over to Brian Doogs with the latest on where this storm is. Brian.
Thanks a lot, guys, and that is a great reminder. I've been kind of harping this over the last day that whether you put it into use tonight or it's just preparation for as we actually get into spring, kind of brush up on those severe weather plans just in case we had a worst case scenario develop, which is what we have right now. And this is kind of two separate portions of this cluster that's moving through Greene County right now. That's why we have two distinct tornado warnings for Greene County. If you're anywhere in Greene County, you need to be putting your tornado precautions into place right now. But the one cell we're watching, or the one part of this cell, is from Monroe to Brodhead, and that's going to move into northwestern portions of Rock County. So that's the one part of the rotation we're watching. Another rotation is also moving out of Lafayette County, just south of Argyle and Gratiot, and that's going to move towards Monticello and northwestern portions of Greene County as we head towards 5:30 this evening. So 5:30 is going to be when these tornado warnings expire. So that's about 17 minutes from now, and this is going to actually clip then southern portions of Dane County. So first alert if you live in Dane County, no severe thunderstorm warning or tornado warning in place currently, but you are next in line for this storm, as is northwestern portions of Rock County. So I do want to give you guys a heads up that this is where the storm will be heading here as we move through the next hour. These storms have impressive hail cores, and that's typically what we're looking at as we head into the early spring seasons. February is kind of uncharacteristic, but the freezing level is much lower than we have during the summertime. So the storms don't have to grow as high to produce hail. And you can see the two distinct hail cores there, one around Monroe and one just beginning to move into western portions of Greene County there. This is where we are looking at the potential of quarter to maybe golf ball size hail now. And these storms have had a history of producing hail. So that is a given. You will be getting hail out of this as it begins to move in to portions of Greene County. Looking at the debris detection, we're always looking to kind of see if there's any things being lofted into the atmosphere that are not what we would associate with typical precipitation. There's a little good news in the fact that I'm not seeing anything that's standing out too much in that aspect right now, but it's something we're going to need to continue to keep a very close eye on. Again, this is kind of two separate portions of the cell that are moving through Greene County right now. So we'll take a look at the velocity and take a look at where we're seeing some of those stronger winds. And you can see right around Monroe, that's one of the areas that we're seeing a little uptick in the winds. That's the darker green. That's going to be probably 40, 50 mile-an-hour winds. Also, as you head towards Monticello and southwestern portions of Greene County, that's where we're also going to start seeing better chances of those gusty winds move in. Not a tight couplet, but something that is showing rotation. Again, the hail, that's the biggest threat right now. We are just getting some new photos in of that hail. I'm going to toss it back to Elizabeth and Mark for some of those.
Yeah, we're monitoring our social media, our Facebook pages, and we're getting some photos, Mark.
Yeah, a photo in from Blanchardville. You can see some pea-sized hail there. That is from Zachary Wiest, who sent us this photo. As you can see, scattered all over the parking lot there. And we have seen some pictures of a little bit bigger too, but you know, hail usually is typical with storms like this. It's good that it's staying small.
Yeah, we saw some on our Facebook page. I think from earlier though, someone showed hail that was nickel size. So like Brian said, we've been talking about this all day long, that hail was one of the threats here. Of course, we are monitoring for tornadoes. Hail can do some damage too. So, you know, it might not be bad to pull your car if you have a covered area, a garage, something like that. Anything that could get damaged, it's good to think ahead. And, you know, the hail, the wind, the tornado chance, that's all things that we are monitoring here. Yeah, here's a look at our cap cam here right in Madison, and I've been kind of watching it on and off. The skies look beautiful. You see the rain. I've seen some lightning too. I think I've heard some thunder as well.
Yeah, just before we came back from our commercial break, we did hear some thunder around, and we were looking outside. We have those windows on one full side of our newsroom, and some dark clouds were rolling in as you see some lightning there on the right side of the screen. It definitely rolled in the area. Brian, you've been warning people about this for the last few days, and here it is.
And I do want to warn people watching at home, if you are sensitive to flashing lights, we could be showing this shot with some flashing lights, lightning here sporadically throughout. So please be careful at home if you are sensitive to that. Brian, back to you.
Elizabeth, Mark, thank you so much. It's almost kind of a surreal situation out there with that remaining snowpack. There's ice on the lakes quickly melting. We're near 60 degrees right now. And last I looked, it's February, but we are tracking tornado warnings. As we talked about off the top of the show, there's never been a confirmed tornado in the state of Wisconsin, not only locally, the entire state of Wisconsin in the month of February, and this is certainly setting up to be potentially a record setting as we roll through the evening hours. So tornado warning continuing for Greene County. I've kind of outlined the center of this cell as it moves off to the north and east at around 40 miles an hour. That's going to take it quickly through Greene County. So I want to give a first alert to Dane and portions of Rock County, Evansville, Stoughton, Edgerton. You're going to be getting this cell in the next 30 to 45 minutes. I suspect at the very least we will see severe thunderstorm warnings issued for part of these counties. So now's the time to prepare, especially if you park outside and get your car inside. It may protect it a little bit more from that potential hail as we move through the next 30 to 45 minutes. Of course, of the utmost concern, though, in addition to the gusty winds and that large hail, that's going to be the potential of the tornadic development. And there's kind of two areas we're watching here into Greene County, and they're kind of outlined nicely by the two separate hail cores. That's the one now moving through Monroe, and the other one as you get off to the west and southwest in the Greene County. Both of these moving off to the north and east. So that's what we're keeping a very close eye on. Here is what we're looking at on our debris detection software. What we're looking for is any kind of spike in the color that would indicate something potentially being lofted into the atmosphere that is not universal in size, that is abnormal from what we would typically be seeing in terms of hail or rain, and that can really help us pinpoint where we do get a tornado to develop. Nothing exactly standing out. There is some something going on around Monroe, but that's kind of on the southern end of the storm too, so it's getting a little clouded there. We have not had reports as of this point of a tornado on the ground, so that is a little bit of good news. But the setup we're in is a setup that we can get a quick spin up tornado to happen in just a couple of minutes, so it's better to be safe than sorry. You factor in the potential of these 50-mile-an-hour winds and also the potential of this quarter-size hail. And, well, that's why we do have the warnings ongoing. Just in the last scan or two, hail core has come down a little bit. You'll see that they've trimmed back the severe thunderstorm warning a little bit, too. It now includes much of central and northeastern portions of Greene County. And that's going to be the continued threat of general hail and wind outside of these two tornadoes. So that'll be going until 5:30. It's coming up on 5:20, so that'll be another 10 minutes that we do have these tornado warnings in place for Greene County. So we'll see how things kind of play out here in the next couple of minutes. Again, radar indicated, meaning the radar is showing us that rotation. We have not had this confirmed, and we're not getting any reports as of this time. So that is the good news, but the storm itself is starting to rotate, which is never good news, and why we do have these tornado warnings. All right. I want to take you back into the rotation here real quick. The western warning is of concern right around the Monticello area where you see the darker green here. That's where we are starting to get some of that stronger rotation. The southern flank of this cell is just to the east of Monroe now, kind of right in here. That's where we're seeing the other little couplet of rotation. This one looks a little more concerning if there was to be rotation. That looks to be Highway 59 there as you're moving northeast out of the Monroe area. So if you are familiar with this region, that's where we're kind of keeping a little closer eye on possible rotation. This looks to be the stronger portion of this cell and kind of the stronger portion of both of the cells as we've moved through the last 15 or 20 minutes. Okay, I'm going to widen this back out. I want to show you what else is going on across southern Wisconsin, and we continue to have kind of a broken line of showers and storms that extends from the state line through Madison and then up towards the Dells and even in the Juneau and Adams County. This area is more stable, so general showers and storms, severe risk is going to be much lower. Madison and points southward, we're warmer, we have more instability, and we have more concern for severe weather. So that'll be the area that we kind of keep a closer eye on. Again, Dane County, Rock County, you're going to be next in line for this storm as it kind of moves off to the north and east. I want to quickly send it back to the desk with Mark and Elizabeth.
Yeah, speaking of Rock County, we have a crew there right now in Janesville. You're taking a live look. Janesville, our crew is safe. They're close by a structure if they need to come inside. That sky, though, those clouds are just really ominous, Mark.
Yeah, and we've been getting more pictures, too, sent in over our Facebook, which is great. I want to remind people, if you can submit those on our website as well, just go to WMTV15news.com and you can submit them there. We're also getting reports from some that there was very heavy rain and hail. It got very loud in Monroe when that moved through. There were also sirens, at least one viewer said, that went off in Monroe. The worst of it, they said, has passed. But I want to thank people like Randall, Sharon, Randy for sending in those updates from that area. And as you can see, those clouds definitely look like storm clouds. For sure.
And speaking of those storm sirens, there's some lightning as well. Again, if you're sensitive to light, be careful with these live looks here. We're looking at them live together. But back to those sirens, I've done a few stories on that. Don't wait to hear a siren to take cover. Watch the radar, listen to Brian. You're only supposed to hear a siren if you're outside. So if you're inside your home, you probably won't hear one. You might hear one, but don't make that your indication of when it's time to go to that safe space. Again, those safe spaces, we're going to keep talking about them because they are important to keep people safe, of course. Stay away from windows. Basements are great, or an interior room. Bathrooms are often a really good safe space for people. Make sure you're bringing your pets there with you as well. And again, just these clouds, a live look here. This is Janesville. Brian says the storm is rolling towards Rock County right now.
Yeah, it's on the move. So let's get back over to Brian to get the latest on where this is at the moment. Brian.
Mark, Elizabeth, thank you so much. Was just taking a look at some of the new information coming in on the wires, and we are still concerned about these tornadic storms into portions of Greene County. We have two separate tornado warnings, one for the northwestern portion of the county and the other now for the east central portion of the county, basically Monroe and points eastward. I want to throw up the velocity here real quick because the most concerning part, in my opinion, is right here, the second tornado warning through east central portions of Greene County. I just had a few pictures come in around the Monroe area of a rotating wall cloud. What is that, you ask? Well, it's kind of step one in a tornadic development. The thunderstorm itself, the upper base, begins to lower and rotate. From there, you get a funnel cloud that can develop, and then if that funnel cloud reaches the ground, you become a full-fledged tornado. So we are now officially at least in step one of a possible tornado developing into east central portions of Greene County, and the rotation here on our velocity product is looking a little more concerning. The one to the west, we still have the tornado warning in place. This one not looking as intense. It's hard to get back-to-back tornadoes by each other, so a lot of this energy may be being funneled into the second tornado warning here, and this is kind of the area I'm really getting concerned with, and you can see it there through east central portions of Greene County. That's Highway 59 around County Road FF, also kind of towards County Road SS. That's where we are getting more of a couplet developing, and that lines up very nicely with that rotating wall cloud report and picture that I was just getting in, and the area that we're getting a little more concerned on, at least in terms of potential tornadic development. Again, tornado warning until 5:30. It's 5:25 right now, so about 5 more minutes. We're going to see some type of new warning, I think, issued for Dane and Rock County. So I want to give you guys a first alert that you're next in line, and it's going to be relatively soon here as this storm continues to kind of rotate through the area. All right, want to throw the debris detection software on and take a look at that area that I was just looking at in terms of potential rotation. A little messy. This is kind of on the edge of the storm, so it's hard to say. And we're going to really be relying on a lot of the reports from our storm spotters coming in and reports from the Weather Service. But again, this is the area that needs to be watched very closely. Sylvester, I should say. That's going to be the area where we had the rotation coming in. Again, everyone kind of being issued with these storms here this evening. We've been watching these for a couple of days, unheard of to get this kind of weather into the month of February, but here we are, and here's what we're dealing with. You can see that hail core kind of fizzling out in this area, but kind of getting its strength together again as we head into the Monroe region. Both of these moving off to the north and east. So I'm going to take a look at some of the new data coming in, see if we're going to see these warnings kind of extended. Mark, Elizabeth, we'll toss it back to you for 1 second.
Yeah, something we're monitoring with these storms that we're not seeing yet, but the possibility of hail, strong winds. Of course, we're thinking power outages. So here's the Alliant Energy map right now. You can see the storm that Brian is talking about in between that 5 and the 2. We're looking at kind of the Blanchardville, Monroe area that Brian has been talking about, and really no power outages yet, but this is something we are keeping a close eye on.
Yeah, and if you look at it too, the power outages that are just a few on there aren't really in the path of that storm yet, so it's good so far, but we continue to get pictures, and some of them coming into our Facebook show some of this hail is quarter, even 50-cent piece sized hail that people are sending in. So, the storm definitely can pack a punch, even though a lot of the hail we've seen so far is just pea sized, but it continues to go on the move, and it is moving closer to the Madison area.
And our crew out in Janesville, we just took a live look a few moments ago, and they say the clouds are getting even more ominous as the time goes on. Brian, you have an update for us.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Here's a look at some of that footage we saw from the Janesville area. A live look actually coming in from the Janesville area. I think the worst of the storms are going to be Janesville and points northward in Rock County. That's kind of where the strongest of the line is moving through, and that's where we're going to see more impact. So if you're south of Janesville down towards Beloit and the state line, you're probably going to get some general showers, maybe a couple rumbles of thunder, but right now does not look like that's going to be the area that's impacted by the severe weather. So closer to the state line in Rock County, it looks like you may just get through this without too much concern. It's that warning through Greene County, and eventually likely going to be new warnings issued for Dane and Rock County of some sort here in the next couple of minutes, because our current tornado warning's going until 5:30 and it is now 5:28. So that is just 2 minutes from now that we will see these warnings expire and likely replaced with an additional warning of some sort. And as I say that, you can see the warning now being expanded into portions of Rock County. And exactly like I was just mentioning, Janesville and points north and westward, that's where this warning will cover. And this is a severe thunderstorm warning. That's going to be for the potential of quarter to golf ball size hail, and also the potential of some 50 to 55-mile-an-hour winds. Again, Janesville southward towards Beloit down I-39 there into the Rockford area. This is not going to be impacted other than maybe some light rain, maybe a rumble or two of thunder. The new severe thunderstorm warning, though, that is going to be for western and northern portions of Rock County. So that's the new warning that we just had come out across the area. I want to take a little bit wider view here, as we do have some new data kind of coming in and some new alerts. So let's zoom it back out here. We'll take a look at the radar and show you exactly what's kind of rolling through the area. All right, let's put this in play here for you. You can see a broken line of storms kind of been rolling through Wisconsin since about 4 o'clock this afternoon. That severe thunderstorm warning also now including southern portions of Dane County. So that's the new warning that's going to be in place. So as this tornado warning is going to likely be expiring in the next couple of minutes, we've been replacing those, it looks like, with severe thunderstorm warnings for southern portions of Dane County and also northern portions of Rock County. So Janesville and points northward, basically Janesville to Madison, if that's easier for you to understand. That's going to be the area that is impacted from this storm, and it still has rotation, and it still has the potential to produce some rather large hail. That's been the big threat, or at least the one that's kind of been verifying here through the afternoon. So that's what we need to kind of keep a little closer look on. Speaking of hail, let's take a look at that and see if we're getting any hail cores to redevelop here. We'll zoom in, still having that hail core now through central portions of Greene County. That's going to move into portions of Dane and Rock County. Evansville, I think you're going to be kind of in line with this. Let's say Belleville, Evansville, Stoughton, kind of where Dane, Rock, and Greene County come together. That's where this hail core is going to be moving, and where we will have that quarter to maybe a little bit larger size hail in general. Let's take a look at the velocity. That's going to be the winds. Still looking like we do have some broad rotation ongoing with this through eastern portions of Greene County. Fortunately, it's not looking as organized as it was before, and it looks like we are going to be expiring those those tornado warnings here momentarily, because a lot of these have not been reaching the ground and they're not looking as organized as before. I want to toss it back to you guys for one more second here. I'm going to take a look at some of this new data coming in, and if we're going to be continuing these tornado warnings to the north and east.
Brian, thank you. Yeah, we are getting a lot of impressive pictures from people of cloud formations rolling over their area. And in some places for a while, the hail was just getting bigger as the pictures came in.
Yeah, and just to recap, let's just kind of summarize. If you're just tuning in right now, we are doing severe weather coverage. We first alerted you about this days ago, and Brian is monitoring and working with our technology right now to really pinpoint where it's hitting. So far, Brian just said that the tornado warnings that we have been following are expiring. He said that they seem to be not as they seem to be dissipating a bit. But right now, here's a look at the Beltline, a live look. Brian was just talking about severe thunderstorm warnings right now for Dane, Greene, Jefferson and Rock counties, and that goes till 6:15. It is 5:32 right now. People are probably headed home from their evening commute, so really before you head out that door, you might want to wait a little bit. Just take your time because the storm is coming and you don't want to be out there. There's some lightning as well in this severe thunderstorm warning.
Yeah, and we're going to send it back to Brian. And Brian, even though tornado warnings might be expiring, that doesn't mean that storm isn't something that's potentially dangerous.
Yeah, that's right, guys. And as we say that, we're getting a new tornado warning beginning to come into the First Alert Center here. And this looks like it's going to include northeastern portions of Greene County, northwestern portions of Rock, and southeastern portions of Dane County. So this is a new tornado warning that has just been issued in the last couple of minutes. And that's going to be going until 6:15 this evening. It's now coming over to 5:33. So we are going to continue our coverage now as we have this new severe thunderstorm warning and this new tornado warning that has just been issued for this cell. Now, if you were tuning in a little bit ago, probably about 30 minutes ago, we were tracking kind of two distinct portions of this cell. They've kind of merged into one, which often is the case. They compete. The stronger one wins, and you get kind of one stronger cell in general. That looks to be the case in what has happened here. So Monroe, north and eastward through northeastern portions of Greene County, that's where we are now concerned with the rotation. So if you are Monroe, south and west, things are going to be improving for you pretty quickly. Also, if you're Janesville southward, you're going to be okay as well down towards Beloit. This storm is going to miss your area, at least this part of it. There's another chance of a storm that's in Rockford kind of moving in your direction, but at least this part is going to miss you. It's important to note that you may be hearing the sirens in your area. All the counties, all the municipalities, they kind of have different rules on how tornado warnings are issued, at least in terms of their sirens. So if you're hearing sirens, you're close enough to the tornadic warned storm. And if you're in Janesville, you're probably hearing these, even though Janesville is not officially under this tornado warning. Now, Evansville, that's a different story. Monticello, that's a different story. You get down towards Stoughton, you get into southern portions of Dane County, you are under this tornado warning. So the same thing goes for Greene and much of Dane County. You may be hearing the sirens, but it's important to know where this storm actually is and whether you are under a significant risk. And the risk right now is right around where Greene, Rock, and Dane County come together. If you're in this vicinity right here, that's where we are going to be seeing the best chance of rotation. We do have some live video coming in out of Janesville right now. I want to show you that because they are on the southern flank of this storm, and you can see some pretty wicked clouds as we move in that direction. I don't know if we have that video. We can pull that up here and just...
Okay, we'll just keep our eyes peeled.
Yeah, and there you can see and hear those tornadic sirens being played in the Janesville area. Again, Janesville is not under this warning southward towards Beloit. You are not officially under the warning, but you're close enough that you're hearing the sirens and you're seeing those flashes of lightning. Incredible for February standards to be seeing these kind of storms moving into the area. Ominous looking clouds to say the least. We've had some hail, we've had some wind, and there is the potential of tornadic development as we move through the next 20 or 30 minutes. So a new tornado warning, as mentioned, going until 6:15. Mark, Elizabeth, I want to toss it back to you just for 1 second, see if you have anything new coming in. I'm going to take a look at some of the very latest data on this new warning, guys.
Brian, thank you. This is some lightning in oh wow, take a look at that. That was in West Madison, as there's been quite a bit of these videos coming in of quite a bit of lightning, and we also just got some great video of some amazing clouds that hopefully, I messaged you back, Lindsay, if you could submit that on our website, that way we can use it on air. That would be, we'd appreciate it. Also,
the lightning is really affecting the area. So again, if you're sensitive to light or anything like that on your screen, please know that we will be showing these videos sporadically. erratically, so just be careful with that. But we really want to show you what people are seeing. You know, we have a crew out there, and you are our eyes and ears as well. Of course, though, sending us these videos is so not important compared to your safety. So if you are seeing things, don't risk it. Get to your safe space. Our main goal is to keep you safe, and that's why we're on right now, is to keep you safe. So that's your #1 priority there. But we do appreciate people sending us things when they are safe.
Yeah, and the storm continues to move as it's creeping farther north and to the east. Let's get back over to Brian to see where the storm is right now. Brian.
Mark, Elizabeth, thank you so much. This new tornado warning is coming with great concern now, because I was just taking a look at some of the rotation, looking very promising in terms of a storm looking healthy, and which is not what we want to see around the Albany area. In fact, I believe this is a confirmed tornado right here. You're seeing a kind of a blip in the dark reds to those brighter greens and yellows, and that's an indication of some stuff being kind of lofted into the atmosphere that is not what we should be seeing, at least in terms of rain or hail. It means it's likely in the form of grass, some kind of dirt, some kind of debris. I'm getting some indications that this is a confirmed tornado now in the central and eastern portions of the Greene County area. So Albany, this is going to be moving eastward into northwestern portions of Rock County, and it's going to be moving towards Evansville, looks like, eventually into southern portions of Dane County. That's the tornado warning that we are seeing, and that's what we're concerned about. All right, going to throw the velocity on here real quick. Want to see where this rotation might be right now. It looks like it's beginning to kind of cross over the Greene and Rock County line here in the next couple of minutes. So this whole vicinity right here, that's where we are very, very concerned now about some possible rotation, and where we are getting some reports now that this is a tornado on the ground. Albany, that's where we do now have confirmed reports of a tornado on the ground. And I'll throw the debris detection software back on real quick here and show you that we are continuing to potentially see that. So again, Madison and points southward, that's where we're going to be looking at the best potential of severe weather as we move through the next 20 or 30 minutes. This will be going until 6:15. You're hearing the sirens through Dane, Greene, and Rock County. That's because we do have what is now a tornado on the ground beginning to move out of northeastern portions of Greene County and into northwestern portions of Rock. So I think Albany, Evansville, Stoughton, this is going to be the area that the potential tornado, if it stays on the ground, will be heading. It's moving northeast at about 40 miles an hour, so you do want to be putting your tornado precaution into place immediately. Again, confirmed tornado on the ground around Albany right now, and moving towards northwestern portions of Rock County, and including under that tornado warning, the Evansville area. Janesville, you are not under this tornado warning. Want to make that clear. You may be hearing the sirens, but you are not under that tornado warning right now. Again, put your tornado precautions into place immediately if possible. Mark, Elizabeth, I want to have you kind of run through those if you can. I'm going to take a look at some of the reports coming in and see if we're getting any new touchdowns.
And thank you. And we just did get some video in from a viewer in the Evansville area that appears to be what looks like a tornado that's forming there. So we're hopefully going to get Brian to take a look at that video. But we want to talk about those safety tips because they're very important now that we know it has risen to this level and we're starting to see some of this video. The safety tips, if we can put them up. Stay away from windows. That's one of the most important things. You want to go to the basement or interior of your home at the lowest point if you can. If you don't have a basement level, definitely get to the interior, as you mentioned, get to bathrooms are a good place to be.
It's usually a good spot, and it is really miraculous after tornadoes have ripped through and you see the damage. The interior rooms really do look like they are stable and stay together. That is a really great option for you if you don't have a basement. This might seem kind of funny, but it's so important. Cover your head with pillows, get under sturdy furniture, anything that's going to protect you from any flying debris. Also, we're back in Janesville now. Brian said that this confirmed tornado, is not in this area. It's in Albany, moving to the western portions of Rock County, but not Janesville. But we do have a crew live in Janesville right now, giving us this live picture. Again, be sensitive to the light that you could be seeing from the lightning. There's a bunch of it in the sky. Again, our crews are safe. They are very close to a structure. If they did have to come in to take shelter, they can do that within seconds. But just take a look. We looked at this, Mark, maybe 15 minutes ago, and the sky was so much brighter. It has just gotten so much darker. You still see some of that light in the sky, though, and that lightning is just really, really impressive.
And getting more and more pictures in of what appear to be funnel clouds as this storm moves through. So let's get back over to Brian and get the latest on what this storm is doing, Brian.
Thanks a lot, guys. Again, yes, confirmed tornado initially was reported around the Albany area and moving off to the north and east. So from Magnolia to Evansville into northwestern portions of Rock County. That's where this storm is going to be heading and where we need to be keeping a very close eye on what's going on. Looks like we may be seeing some of that stronger rotation right around the Magnolia area here. You can see where we have those reds and greens kind of coupled with that blue turning into purple. That's where we have the tight couplet and where we are getting very concerned that there may be the tornado remaining on the ground and where we may be seeing some of those stronger winds. So again, moving, it appears now to the north and east of Albany and more towards northwestern portions of Rock County, Evansville, down towards Magnolia, Highway 213 there. That's where there are some of the stronger winds appearing to come in. Going to throw this debris detection back on here. Still showing what could be that tornado on the ground. We've had numerous reports now that this tornado has been traveling northeast of Albany now and beginning to work its way a little bit closer to the Evansville and Magnolia area. Again, if you are in Rock County, you're hearing tornado sirens. If you are in northwestern portions of Rock County, you need to be in your tornado safe spot immediately. If you are Janesville and points southward, you're probably hearing the sirens, but you can rest assured that you are not in immediate risk of this storm impacting you. In fact, the storm is going to pass to your north and west. There are additional storms down to the south and west towards Rockford. We'll see if those move in your direction, but this is not going to be impacting Janesville and southward towards Beloit. Again, northwestern portions of Rock County is now where we are seeing some of the stronger rotations coming up. Want to take a wider look real quick. It's been a while since we've taken a look at the rest of southern Wisconsin. You can see that, man, things are getting very, very active this afternoon. If you're north of Madison, there is some good news. Things are a bit more stable in this area, and these are general showers and storms. Not to say you won't see maybe some pea-sized hail, you won't get some gusty or 30, 40-mile-an-hour winds. Thunder, lightning, all going to be a possibility, but this is not going to be on the severe side, so that is some good news. Now you get into Dane County and points southward, it's a different story. Temperatures are warmer, there's more ingredients for these storms to kind of feed off of, and that is why we do have the severe thunderstorm warnings and the tornado warnings currently in place for portions of that area. If you are just tuning in, coming up on 5:44 now, we continue with our live coverage for a confirmed tornado that is on the ground through eastern portions of Greene County, now crossing into northwestern portions of Rock County. So this will go until 6:15. It's 5:44, so we have about a half hour of this warning remaining. We'll likely see the threat become northwestern Rock and southern portions of Dane County up towards Stoughton as well as we move through the next 20 or 30 minutes. Outside of that, general severe thunderstorm warning also in place for the potential of some quarter-sized hail. So that's what we're going to be keeping a close eye on in the next 20, 30 minutes. Mark, Elizabeth, do you guys have anything new coming in at the desk?
Yeah, Brian, we wanted to take a look at the Cap Sky Cam here in downtown Madison. And Mark, we looked at this about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, and we're also getting some pretty impressive pictures on our website if you want to head there. A special thank you to Lindsay Smith, who I've been bugging over messaging for the last few minutes, but posted what appears to be a tornado. This was taken in Evansville off of County Road C. So that video is on our website as well. As the hail, as we mentioned, was just getting bigger. And now as we get reports of these tornadoes, these impressive pictures coming in just in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, and looking at the live picture at the Capitol right now, these clouds are very impressive. The formations are very impressive, looking very, very different. And like Brian was saying, there is a tornado warning right now that we are watching. So we will continue to monitor this situation. Again, it's 5:45. If you're heading home from work, if you know anybody who's needed to be out and about right now, make sure you check in with them and let them know that the severe weather is moving through and it's moving moving through pretty quickly, and we have you covered here. We are going to stay live with you until all of these warnings expire, and that's to keep you all safe. So we are getting more pictures. We hope to get these pictures and videos on air so we can kind of show you what's going on around our entire viewing area as Brian uses the technology back here in the studio to really pinpoint what this storm is doing, what these storms are doing. There's multiple, and where they are hitting and who needs to take cover.
And I'm looking at a video sent in by Wendy just a few moments ago that is clearly a tornado. She says this is southwest of Evansville, so definitely take this very seriously. Let's get back over to Brian with the very latest.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. And we are seeing a very tight couplet in the winds here for northwestern portions of Rock County, Magnolia, Evansville, the Footville area. I did just get a picture from Footville, and there's a couple of reports in that region that look to be what could be the funnel cloud or the tornado that has been periodically going up and down into the clouds that originally started into east central portions of Greene County around Albany. That's where we did have the first confirmed report of the tornado as it's kind of moved to the north and east. This is the couplet right here, and you can see that it is pretty tightly compacted. And I think if we were to have a tornado on the ground, this is where it would be. We're just getting some new footage into the Weather Center. Let's take a look at this and see exactly what we're looking at. I believe this is around the Evansville area in the last 5 or 10 minutes, and this is kind of right around the area we're keeping an eye on. That does appear to be the rotating wall cloud and at least a funnel cloud. It's hard to see from that video if it extends towards the ground and completely reaches, but that is at minimum a wall cloud, funnel cloud, and that is likely the part of the system that's been producing the tornado from time to time, originally starting back in Albany and now moving into northwestern portions of Rock County. So looks like the threat is now moving out of Greene County, at least in terms of the tornadic part of the storm. So that's a little bit of good news. Now moving into northwestern portions of Rock County. This is new footage just coming into WMTV 15 News from the Evansville area of what does appear to be the rotating wall cloud producing a funnel cloud, and a little hard to see from this footage directly if that extends down to the base, but I can tell you that this has been the storm that at least periodically has been reaching the ground and has been producing that tornado. This lines up very nicely with what we're seeing on the radar. Again, that was footage just out of the Evansville area, Evansville down to Magnolia and to the north and east here. This is Highway 14. This is where I think the possible tornado is on the ground. This is where we're seeing the greens and the reds kind of mixing together now with some of these darker colors, the blues and the purples, indicating the higher wind potential and where we do have that higher rotation. Okay, let's throw that debris detection software back on. Seeing a little bit of some anomalies here in the same area that we are tracking that rotation and where we had that video coming in. So things are lining up that this is where the concern is. Evansville, you need to be taking this very seriously. I would say Evansville down to Footville. This is where we are looking at that possible rotation and where we do have the funnel cloud at times and where the tornado has been, at least periodically, been going up and down into the cloud base. First time we had this official report coming in was around the Albany area. It's now moved out of Greene County and into Rock County. So Evansville, take this storm very seriously. You need to be in your tornado safe spot immediately as this storm continues to roll through the area. Again, where you see the darker blues, the purples here kind of lining up with the reds and the greens. That's where we're getting the competing wind directions and where we are getting that rotation. So here's Highway 14, 213 up towards 59. This whole area, this is very, very concerning to me, guys. We have some new footage coming in, it sounds like. Mark Elizabeth, I'm going to toss it back to you real quick.
Joining me now here on the desk, and we are getting more and more videos in of those funnel clouds in the Evansville area.
Yeah, so let's take a look here. Rock County cloud cover. You can see just the ominous dark clouds with that light behind. We have viewers sending us in videos and also our crew in Rock County in Janesville right now getting this look for us.
Yeah, we've had, as Brian has been mentioning, that It started as a severe weather threat that we've been talking about for the last few days, has turned into now reports of funnel clouds, a lot of pictures coming in. Just a reminder, if you can submit these pictures on our website, WMTV15news.com, that would be very helpful for us to be able to get this on the air. This is a live look you're looking at Janesville now of those clouds, which have been getting darker and darker.
Very dark. I do want to let you know, right before I came into the studio, I called a Greene County dispatch knowing that confirmed tornado initially in the Albany area. They said at this point they don't have any reports of damage, but I do know that both Albany Fire and Broadhead Fire are out trying to assess, working with residents related to that initial report out of Albany.
And let's get look at some more viewer-submitted photos. This is from Monticello. As you can see, quite a bit of hail. Luckily, not a whole lot of it has been very big. You know, it would cause too much damage to cars or decks or siding or anything like that, but quite a bit of hail.
And we do want to thank all of you who have been able to submit photos and videos. If you have something you'd like to share, it's very easy to go on our news app or weather app. You can also do that through the website. All of that is the easiest way for us to then turn it around and share it with everyone at home.
We're going to get back over to Brian Doogs now. Brian, a lot of the pictures and videos we've been seeing of these funnel clouds don't look like they're reaching the ground just yet, which probably accounts for the lack of damage we've heard so far.
Yeah, and I think that was definitely the case as this storm started to get its act together into Greene County, and where we first had that official report in the Albany area. That has now moved north and east between the Greene and Rock County line. It was kind of lifting up and down. In the last 10 to 15 minutes, it's been more consistently on the ground, and it's gaining strength, so much so that we've had a new tornado warning issued for the rest of northern Rock County. This also includes southeastern Dane County, and now you are also in this for southwestern portions of Jefferson County. This tornado, I repeat, is gaining strength. It's now a threat that is considered considerable. What does that mean? Well, it means that damage is likely out of this. It is turning into a life and death situation if you are in the path of this storm. As mentioned, this has gained strength. The tornado is growing in size, and new tornado warnings are now in place for southeastern portions of Dane County, southwestern portions of Jefferson, and northern Rock County. You need to take this very seriously. I know we're in the month of February. You're not thinking tornadic development. You're thinking snowstorms. You may be thinking this is just a typical storm that we're seeing for the first time of the season. I'm here to tell you that's not the case. This storm is growing in intensity. It's growing in size. The tornadic threat, the tornado itself is becoming considerable, and the threat is considerably growing. So take this seriously. I cannot emphasize that enough. If you are in the Evansville area, down towards Stoughton and into southwestern portions of Jefferson County, especially as far east as, let's say, Whitewater, that's where this cell is going to continue to move as we push into the next 20 or 30 minutes. Again, that new tornado warning, it's 5:53 right now. That's going to be going until 6:30 this evening, so we do have a little bit of time here we have to get through. I want to take you into the rotation and show you how things are getting to a more severe of a situation. I'm going to zoom in here because this couplet is getting tighter and tighter. This is the Porter area in northern portions of Rock County. So this is Highway M. Looks like that's going to be right along there, if not to the north of there. Towards the Fulton area, we are seeing this area right here being where the tornado is on the ground. No doubt in my mind that that's where we're seeing it. I'll throw the debris detection software on, and bam, there it is. You see that indication there by the brighter colors that there is debris being lofted into the atmosphere. This is not what the radar is typically picking up, and why it's showing this anomaly in the software. That means there is a tornado on the ground. Again, we are looking at a new tornado on the ground for northwestern portions of Rock County. I want to send it back to you guys real quick. I have new information. I hear it on my computer coming in right now.
Okay, thank you. And again, we were seeing just from some viewers sending in images related to that Highway 14 interchange that was just on the western half of that map that Brian was just showing, with that tornadic activity slightly to the right. So we do know that is the area right now. If you know someone in that area, make sure you've checked with them that they have taken necessary safety precautions. And what does that mean? It means right away we're going to the lowest area of our house, a basement if you have one, or that lower interior room where there are no windows.
Yeah, Teresa just sent in her sister headed to the basement, which is exactly what you're told to do. Could see a tornado tornado. South Kemp Road and Highway 14 are the latest reports we're getting from viewers in right now.
And that's right where that area on the map that Brian was just showing us. So again, basement or lowest level of your house, no windows. Keep your phone with you. If you don't have a weather radio, this is a way to stay connected if there's no TV in that low area. Pillows or furniture, something that you can protect yourself, is very important at this time.
And let's send things back over to Brian. Brian, what have you learned?
Thanks a lot, guys. That new information I was talking about was what I expected. That tornado warning now canceled for Greene County. The risk has moved out of the area. We were talking about that quickly moving into portions of Rock County. So now Greene County in the clear. If you're hearing tornado sirens, we're going to be okay. The tornadic part of this cell has moved off to the north. Now looking at northern portions of Rock County being of the area of concern. And this is really going to be Evansville and points eastward now. And I'll be honest, it's racing off to the north now. This is just to the north of Fulton. I want to zoom in on where we think this tornado is on the ground and where I can say with pretty high confidence that the tornado is on the ground. So this is just north of Fulton, Porter. This is getting close to the Dane County line. That's where you're seeing the change from the dark red there to more of that yellow and green. That's where we are looking at the likelihood of tornado development happening. All right. Gonna zoom back in here to the rotation, and you can see that there is a very tight couplet still right around Porter towards Fulton. Edgerton, you are next in line here. This tornado is not far from you. You need to be in your tornado safe place immediately. Again, it's going to be in this area right here that we continue to keep a very close eye on things. I want to emphasize that this is a growing tornado. There is a tornado on the ground, and it's becoming stronger as time goes on. So you need to be taking your tornado precautions very seriously as we move through the next couple of minutes. All this moving off to the north and east. Edgerton, I think you're next in line for this. If you're anywhere near the Dane County, Rock County line, that's where the storm is kind of straddling and where it's going to meander kind of north and south. So if you are in that vicinity, know that that's where the storm is heading, and then eventually it's going to head more into portions of Jefferson County as we push towards the 6 o'clock hour tonight. So 5:57 right now. Looks like this tornado warning is going to be going until 6:30 this evening. Again, that tornado warning has been allowed to expire for portions of Greene County. And if you live in Rock County, this has really been a significant difference from the northern half of the county to the southern half. From Janesville southward, you are in the clear from this tornadic storm. Now, there is a cell coming in. There is going to be some thunder, some lightning, the potential of some smaller hail. But the area that we are concerned about is going to be northern Rock County. So Stoughton down towards Evansville eastward towards Whitewater. This is getting close to crossing I-39 and getting close to being of some more concern because this system continues to strengthen. It's been on the ground for quite a bit now. I think we started our coverage a little bit after 5 o'clock this evening. That's when we were talking about the initial cell kind of being in the Albany area and where we initially saw the rotation. That was in here. It's now moved into northwestern Rock County. It's now moved out of Fulton. It's now moved out of Evansville, Orfordville. You're kind of in the clear, and now it's moving pretty much close to the Dane County, Rock County line, right around I-39. That's where the couplet is very, very tight. And man, this is not what you want to see when you look at a radar. You see that bright purple there and that pink coupled with this green and the red here. That's the winds going in different directions. The tighter you see this couplet, typically the stronger, the more organized the storm system is. And this is about as textbook as you get, especially for this time of the year. As I mentioned a couple minutes ago, if you live anywhere near the Dane County, the Rock County line, this is a serious situation. Edgerton, this is a serious situation. If you know anyone traveling on 51 here, I-39, this is going to cross the interstate in about the next 10 to 20 minutes. I don't know back in the booth if we can get one of the traffic cameras in this area. We can take a little closer look at what's going on, but this is going to be the area that we need to kind of take a close eye on. I just want to toss it back to you guys for 1 second. I hear my computer going off. I want to take a look at some of the new data.
Oh, Brian, as I'm looking at that map, and maybe we can bring it up, this brings me back to the Stoughton tornado of 2005. Right north of that Rock County, Dane County line is where we saw a massive damage, and it's just so close to that Dunkirk and Stoughton area. As we're looking there on the map, a lot of folks in that area remember that. I know are taking this seriously, but if you're new to the area, just make sure if you're in that line that you are getting to a safe place right now, because you can see it's right there just north, that dark area, but the purple area right on the county line there. We can't express enough how important it is that you get to safety.
And what makes this one so odd for us is that it's happening in February, which you would just absolutely not expect.
Has never happened.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect it. It's never happened. We've been warning you. We gave you a first alert a few days ago for this, and here it is. So hopefully everyone is ready for this, and we're going to send it back to Brian with what you just learned, Brian.
Yeah, this is a serious situation. Continue to have that tornado warning on the ground. Some of the new data that was coming in, we're trimming back that tornado warning. So northwestern portions of Rock County, you're going to be coming out of that warning, and now it's going to remain for northeastern portions of Rock County until 6:30 this evening. Just rolled past 6:01 here, and this is the area we're very concerned on. Southeastern portions of Dane County and northeastern portions of Rock County, right along the state line here, approaching Edgerton, approaching I-39. This is not going to be a good situation. You can see the very tight couplet here. We are seeing those bright purples, those blues, and they're kind of coupled here with the reds and the greens, and that means we have winds going in different directions, and that means we have very tight rotation. This is a confirmed tornado on the ground. I want to put the debris detection software back on. Looks like some of this debris being lofted up and thrown into southeastern portions of Dane County. Haven't had a lot of reports coming in on exactly where this tornado is. It's kind of meandering right along the state line, or excuse me, the county line of portions of Dane and Rock County. And what was that, guys? You said Evansville, we're getting reports of power out? Yeah, that makes sense. That's where the storm was just a little bit ago, and where it started to really kind of gain its strength. So this is continuing to be a very unique and serious situation here as we move into the evening hours. All right, let's put the velocity back on. You can see that we still have that very tight couplet. We should get an updated scan on the radar here in the next couple of minutes. Hopefully we'll see what's going on there. I'm going to keep it on this area right here, and I'm going to step off and zoom in on some of these county roads that are a little bit closer in and kind of try to name these off for you and give you a better idea on where we're seeing this. So let's kind of zoom back in here. Looks like County Road N. Also, we're looking at Stoughton Road, Edgerton, the whole area there, 59, Highway 59. We're also going to be looking towards I-39. I know that's a much heavier traveled portion of the interstate, and that's where we're going to be seeing this storm heading, I think, in the next, what time is 6:03, probably the next 10 to 15 minutes. This storm will be moving across I-39. So if you know people heading in that direction, maybe you can give them a heads up to kind of watch this storm, wait for it to pass, and hopefully they can be all in the clear, because the worst thing that you would be right now is wanting to travel directly into the path of the storm as it crosses I-39. So again, Edgerton, this is where it's going. It's moving off to the north and east at about 20 to 30 miles an hour. It has slowed just a little bit as it kind of gets its act together, and going to be pushing off to the east again. So the Dane County line, the Rock County line, that's where we continue to focus all of our attention as we move through the evening hours. We have had those power reports coming out of the Evansville area. Have you guys been getting any additional power outage reports that you can speak of? Any new data kind of coming in at the desk?
You know, I've been taking a look at the Alliant map, and I can see 73 customers out just south of Albany. I don't see that Evansville report on the Alliant Energy map, Brian, but we have been trying to keep up on what's happening related to power outages.
Yeah, just another reminder, we are getting a lot of great videos of these funnel clouds coming in to our Facebook message, which is great. But if you could submit those on our website, there's a little link that you can click on that says submit photos or videos, and they will upload. I know at least one viewer was having difficulty because the file was so big, but you just sent us another great video. So if you could, try that, that would be great. But, this is that funnel cloud Brian's been talking about for the last few minutes. That's been more than the last few minutes that's been moving across the area.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. As mentioned, the tornadic threat, it does not include Janesville. I want to mention this real quickly, though, because this was the storm that was down towards Rockford. It has prompted a severe thunderstorm warning for central and southern portions of Rock County. So Janesville southward on I-39, this is where there may be some quarter-size hail, maybe some winds up to 30, 40, maybe 50 miles an hour. This is not the tornadic portion of the storm. It's a new cell that has just kind of moved out of the Rockford area, and it's beginning to cross the state line around Beloit, Janesville. You're going to be next in line for the strong portion of that cell in particular. It's north of there, and it's this cluster of storms that we are a bit more concerned about. This is the one that has had an on and off tornado since it initially formed into portions of central and eastern Greene County. Albany, that's where we had the first confirmed report of tornado. It lifted down, kind of went up and down as it crossed into Rock County, and it's been consistently on the ground now, it appears, as we push into northern Rock County. It's a little more rural in this area. Some of the reports have been slow to come in, but it appears, for the most part, this has been on the ground now for a significant amount of time, and it's kind of traversing right along the Dane and Rock County line. So Edgerton, I-39, this is where we are now beginning to see this rotation. So let's zoom in here. We just got a new scan on the radar. We'll take you in here and show you what exactly is going on. Looks still pretty strong in my opinion. Looks like the rotation, as mentioned, has kind of been wobbling a little north and south. You get that with the storms. Looks like the strongest of the rotation, Edgerton to maybe just to the north into extreme southeastern portions of Dane County. So this is the area I'm concerned with. It's essentially crossing I-39 right now. Again, don't know if we have any cameras in this vicinity that we can take a look at and see if we can get any kind of video or picture in that region. That's going to be the area of concern. So Stoughton, the rotation is beginning to pass just to your south and east. I think we're going to cut back this tornado warning from Stoughton down to Evansville probably in the next 5 or 10 minutes. So things looking a little bit better from Stoughton down towards to Evansville. I know we've had some significant power outages reported in this area. That would be indicative to probably the tornado that moved through and caused some type of damage in that region. So with that being said, Edgerton points eastward. That's going to be the next area of concern. I want to give you that first alert in Jefferson County that this tornado is coming towards you, and it's coming towards you pretty quickly. That's why we do have that tornado warning in place coming up until about 6:30 this evening. Okay. Let's throw our debris detection software back on. Still seeing that tight rotation. We're still seeing these anomalies here, indicating that something is kind of being thrown up into the atmosphere. It's a little more scattered at this point, and this typically means two things. The storm is coming a little more disorganized, or it's really starting to loft a lot into the atmosphere, and it's kind of starting to fill the sky. So still getting this confirmed tornado on the ground, both from radar and from our spotters out there, and from the radar itself indicating that rotation. Okay, velocity back on here. Again, when we were looking for a possible tornado, looking for these greens and reds kind of bleeding into the blues, the purples, and eventually indicating tight rotation. So this is essentially over I-39 right now. Hopefully people are taking the necessary precautions and not traveling through this storm. This is not a good placement for a confirmed tornado to be potentially moving over the interstate. I think that's in the situation we're in right now. That means that southwestern Jefferson County, you are going to be next in line for this storm rolling into your area. I cannot emphasize enough how seriously you need to be taking this storm. We've been getting considerable reports of damage and this on the ground from some of the reports I've seen coming in. We had that massive power outage in the Evansville area, and we do have that tornado warning going until 6:30 now for southwestern portions of Jefferson County. Does look like they're trimming back that tornado warning for northwestern portions of Rock County as expected. If you're in the Evansville area, you're dropping out of that tornado warning. That's the good news. The threat has now moved off to the east, and we are just going to be under this tornado warning. So again, you can see south and west of Evansville, tornado warning being clipped. The threat is moving eastward, and while it still includes southeastern Dane County and northeastern Rock County, the threat is quickly moving into southwestern portions of Jefferson County. So that's where we're going to be keeping our eye on as it crosses I-39. Mark, Lee, anything new coming across over there?
Yeah, just submitted on our website just the last 10 minutes. Brandon posted a great video of a funnel cloud. He says east of 104. It's a very clear shot of that funnel cloud that's near a farm. And Cassidy, about 10 minutes ago, posted a video you can see through the trees of a tornado that appears to be on the ground, and that's in Evansville.
And just to put 104 into context, that runs north-south from Broadhead to Brooklyn. And so that's the one funnel cloud video that we see coming in here right now. Also want to thank Barb for letting us know that the power is in fact out in Evansville. Sometimes it doesn't show up on the map, but she did send us in a note regarding that as well.
Yeah, let's go over again. We've mentioned them before, but these are important safety tips. If you are in the path of this storm or under these funnel clouds right now, stay away from your windows. Get to the basement or interior room, the lowest level of your home. So being on the top floor of your home isn't going to help you at all. You need to get to the lowest level possible. If you don't have any basements, get away from the windows into an interior room. And if you're in a mobile home, abandon that mobile home. That's not going to be a safe place to be if you're in the path of this storm.
So we want to make sure that everyone is safe. That is our primary job right now and until these warnings expire. We're going to go back to Brian at the wall.
Thanks a lot, guys. I did just get some new reports out of the Evansville area as that storm rolled through. There are reports now of some structures that had some significant damage to their roof and also some large trees that were snapped in that area. And that continues to be with this storm right here that continues to produce a tornado. The threat is beginning to move more to the east, though. Of most concern would be if you live in Jefferson County. That is where this cell is quickly moving. So I think in the next 10 minutes, we will start to see this warning kind of chipped away for Dane County and northwestern portions of Rock County and northern Rock County. This is quickly going to be a major concern for people that live into Jefferson County, especially southwestern portions of Jefferson County, because that's where the strongest portion of the cell is beginning to move in. We'll take you in here and you can see there's the cell, the brighter, the reds, the pinks, the storm racing now in that direction. Not only are we worried about the tornado, but the potential of some golf ball size hail also with this storm. Anytime you get storms in the early spring or in this case winter, the freezing level, it's not all that high, so you can really tap into that cold air and you can really produce quite a bit of hail. This continues though, moving to the north and east. You can see that things really don't appear to be weakening all that much, which we would love to see at this point in time. Gonna throw the velocity back on here and take a look exactly what's going on. We'll zoom back in here. Still seeing a tight couplet. I'll be honest, it doesn't look as well defined as it was in the last 5-10 minutes. This may be some good news as it moves off to the east and starts to encounter some air that's not as suitable for severe storm development. That would be the best situation right now as it begins to push out of Dane and Rock County and into Jefferson County. I think this is just now over I-39, so that threat is going to be continuing to push into Jefferson County. We're kind of right along the Dane, Rock, and Jefferson County line that we're concerned with, that area right in here. Eventually, this will be kind of moving towards Highway 12 and eventually into central portions of Jefferson County. Again, a little bit of good news here. I think in the last scan, I'm not seeing things looking as tightly confined as they did in earlier scans. So this may be the beginning of a weakening trend, which would be great news. We're still seeing debris being picked up, and we're still seeing some concerns. Kind of lining up nicely, though, that this is moving over I-39 now, or at least for the most part is over, it looks like, and now beginning to push out of Dane County and more so into Jefferson County. You're still going to be hearing the sirens. You're still going to be needing to put your tornado precautions into place if you live anywhere near the county lines of Dane, Jefferson, and Rock County. So continue to keep this top priority. Did get some reports just in the last couple of minutes. Stoughton, tornado warnings going off. Technically, you are still in the tornado warning. You should be in your safe place, but it looks like the rotation is now just to your east and over I-39 and beginning to move more into Jefferson County. So that's the area we need to focus most of our attention on. I suspect we'll start to see this tornado warning trim back if you live into southern Dane County and northern Rock County. So again, focus now beginning to shift into Jefferson County, southwestern Jefferson County, and the areas that are going to be of most concern are going to be east of I-39 now, and in this area right here. There's Sumner, and that's where the rotation is looking very impressive, or at least it was in the last couple of scans. Weaker than before, but still noticeable right around this area here. Highway 106 that looks to be there. This is 73 east of 39. Threat I can say now is east of 39. That's where things seem to be migrating. So east of I-39 in the southwestern portions of Jefferson County, southeastern portions of Dane, and northern portions of Rock. Still looking to be this area. Looks like the rotation right now more concerned about being in southwestern portions of Jefferson County. All right, getting a quick update on where those warnings are. I'm going to zoom it back out here. It looks like we're trimming those back just a little bit. Yeah, as expected, looks like we're trimming those warnings back now to basically the the county line in Rock County, and also the county line in Dane County. So as I was just focusing on, I think southwestern Jefferson County, that's going to be where we need to focus our most attention on in the next couple of minutes. Elsewhere through southwestern Wisconsin, things are looking a little bit better out there, not looking at too much in the way of severe weather. These storms originated out towards the Mississippi, kind of tapped into all that warm and juicy air that we had through the region, and eventually produced that tornado that we had in Albany, and now has moved through Rock County, southern Dane County, and now is beginning to move into portions of Jefferson County. So the threat remains, the tornado warning being trimmed back, and now we're going to focus on southwestern portions of Jefferson County for the tornado warning. As mentioned, we do have additional storms out there, so we'll zoom back out here. And I don't want to forget you in the portions of southern Rock County, because we do have the severe thunderstorm warning for Janesville down towards Beloit, eastward towards Delavan, close to Lake Geneva. Not tornadic in nature. This is producing some hail, though, up to pea, nickel, quarter-size hail, not out of the question. Kind of moving through the heart of Janesville right now. If you live in Janesville, you're probably starting to hear that hail come down. It's going to come down for the next couple of minutes. 900 people now being reported without power in Rock County. Not surprised to hear those numbers coming in, just because of the combination of this cell right here and this northern portion of the cell that initially produced that tornado warning. Mark, we're going to toss it back to you. You have more power outage data coming in.
Yeah, Brian. We're just here in Columbia County with about 650 without power. You mentioned 900 without power in Rock County. Elizabeth Wattis just talked to Rock County Dispatch as well. They say they're extremely busy. They've had a ton of reports of tornadoes, mainly north and northwest in the county between Edgerton and Evansville. They say they're responding to a lot of damage.
I think
now.
Elizabeth and I were both calling, because I called Rock County Dispatch as well. They said hazardous conditions from Evansville to Edgerton and continuing east. They haven't assessed specific damage to homes, although I do have a friend who lives in the area who is telling me there are 2 homes with damage, but I want to qualify that did not come from Rock County Dispatch, but from a friend. And Tim, I do appreciate your heads up on that. They do have crews out all across northern Rock County right now trying to assess damage and help any residents. So if you live in Rock County and are concerned, know that the Sheriff's Department and local police departments and fire are out and about and will be trying to reach you.
Yeah, as Elizabeth said, they're very busy right now. It's sometimes difficult to tell whether this damage was caused by tornadoes or just strong winds. That'll be determined in the coming days. But we have seen a lot of pictures and videos of funnel clouds, so wouldn't be that much of a surprise that some of that was caused by funnel clouds, Brian.
Yeah, and I think this is going to go down as the first confirmed tornado that we've ever had in the month of February. To kind of put in perspective for you how rare this event is, we don't get severe weather in the month of February all that often. This is only the second time we've even had a risk of severe weather. As mentioned, we've never never had a tornado in the state of Wisconsin in the month of February. This is unprecedented for this region, and it's unprecedented for us to get into the 50s and the 60s like we had today. Early season parameters for severe weather. These storms are tapping directly into that, and they have produced those severe thunderstorm warnings and those tornado warnings. And I think we're going to start to see more reports of damage coming in from where this storm passed earlier, from Evansville towards Milton, and now into southern and southwestern portions of Jefferson County. There was a point through northern Rock County from Footville to Evansville, Orfordville, up in this region here, that the tornado was looking very, very healthy. It was likely a fairly large tornado at that point in time. In the last 10 minutes or so, things have been showing a weakening trend. I love to see this because we really want to get this thing kind of tinkering down and not producing the significant tornado that was likely on the ground as it moved through northern Rock County. As we continue to move towards 6:30, that'll be when this warning goes until. I think the threat is primarily now in the portions of Jefferson County. So things are looking better from a tornadic standpoint. If you live in Rock County, you still have the severe thunderstorm warning. And if you're down in Janesville, down towards Beloit, even Milton now, we're going to be on the lookout for some hail. Some up to quarter-size hail still going to be a possibility. Kind of the same thing, Stoughton and points south and eastward along I-39 there. But things are going to be improving, I think, in this region. So Dane County, we're going to see a significant improvement in the next 20 minutes. Rock County, the tornadic threat is moving out, but now we have a severe thunderstorm that is beginning to move in. Jefferson County, all eyes are on you for the potential of a continued tornado on the ground. Good news, I have not had a ton of reports of confirmation in the last 5 or 10 minutes of this continuing to be on the ground. And as I take a look at some of the scans coming in here on the radar, it's not looking as well defined anymore, which is also good news. But we're getting closer to the National Weather Service in Milwaukee that is located in Sullivan as well. So the radar is basically right there. So that's something we'll keep an eye on as well. If you get too close to it, you start to lose data. So the Weather Service, of course, in Sullivan, this is where the storm is kind of heading as we move into portions of Jefferson County. That's where the tornado warning will go until 6:30 this evening. I expect Dane and Rock County to completely be pulled from this tornado warning in the next 5 or 10 minutes. So that'll be the area we continue to focus on. Throwing the debris detection software on here, it's getting messy. You see all these colors because the radar is actually right here underneath my palette right there. The physical radar from the National Weather Service in Milwaukee is about right here. So it's getting a little messy in what is exactly showing up here. But this is the area that if we were to have a tornado on the ground, that would be where it's at. So Fort Atkinson down towards Whitewater, I think that's where you need to be putting your tornado precautions immediately into place. This extends towards Jefferson, but it looks like the rotation may be just to your south. Regardless of where you are in Jefferson County, not a terrible idea to be putting your tornadic precautions into place from Jefferson to Fort Atkinson and down towards Whitewater. This does not really include much of Walworth County, but this is going to be the region that we continue to kind of keep a close eye on. Take another look at the radar. Still seeing the higher returns in Jefferson County, and then we get into Rock County, Dane County. That's the severe thunderstorm portion of this, the one that continues to produce that nickel to quarter size hail. Have had a lot of reports just in the last little bit here of hail kind of falling throughout Rock County. Now, again, this is not tornadic in nature, but it is continuing to be on the strong side. So if you can get your car into a garage, not a bad idea. If you can bring things in that may blow around or you don't want to be pelted with hail, not a bad idea. More good news to the south and west as you get into northern Illinois. This really kind of tapers down. So we're not expecting much more in the way of severe weather once this line gets through, which will be in the next 30 minutes to, I think, an hour for our viewing area. And then it'll become more of a concern for Milwaukee. But also, as we get closer to Lake Michigan, you get a little bit more stable air. You get a little more ingredients that aren't there for this, and things look a little better. So this continues to weaken. That's a little bit of good news. Mark, did you have your hand up? You have some new data?
We just got a message from our newsroom, and this was posted on the Evansville Facebook page, that power in Evansville is currently out. Evansville Water and Light is aware and working on the issue. There are also reports that cell phone towers are also down in that area. They don't have a timeline on when those outages are going to be restored. So that was just posted.
And in that same vein, I want to let everybody know that one of our colleagues was trying to get home and reported not able to drive on Highway 59. So I'm talking about from Cooksville to Edgerton, that's west to east. He had to turn around because of downed trees and power lines across the highway there. So as we talk about our conversations with Rock County Dispatch and how busy they are, just be aware once this storm is over, if you have to head out, there could be issues because of all these conditions with downed trees and downed power lines, and you want to keep that in mind as well.
Yeah, never go near a downed power line at all. Brian, I wanted to ask you a question. Is this storm moving quickly? It seems like, you know, we've been on the air for more than an hour now with this, but it seems like it's moving pretty fast.
It is. It's been moving anywhere from about 40 to 60 miles an hour. So these storms have been racing off to the north and east. And as I mentioned just before we tossed it back to you, that we're going to start to see this exiting our region, I think, in the next 30 minutes. And it's going to be more of a concern for the Milwaukee area. You can see that is already beginning to be the case as we have new severe thunderstorm warnings for Walworth County and then east of our area. This does include Lake Geneva and points northward up towards Whitewater. And then that's where you start to get into the tornado warning then as you get into southwestern portions of Jefferson and where we have had that significant tornado reported on the ground a little bit ago as it moved out of Green, Rock, and Dane County. I did just see a photo, excuse me, as that storm moved out of Dane County. It was southeastern Dane County, just to the south and east of Stoughton. It looked like a very healthy tornado that we had on the ground about 30 minutes ago. Fortunately, that has moved out of Dane County and now moving into Jefferson County. I was wondering what we were going to see here. Looks like this tornado warning will now be expanded eastward to include central and eastern portions of Jefferson County because that rotation is still on the ground. This does include the National Weather Service in Milwaukee. It appears they have put themselves under the tornado warning, and they will likely have to be passing their control over now to a surrounding weather service as they take their own precautions from a tornado. Now, tornado warning now being issued to include the National Weather Service in the Milwaukee area. So this is concerning for them, considering we get a lot of our information. They will be passing their duties as they take cover as well. And if you live in Jefferson County, you need to be taking this seriously. Jefferson County, you are now in the brunt of this storm, a storm that has a history of producing tornadic thunderstorms and has a history of producing a tornado that started back in eastern Greene County around Albany and moved through northern Rock County, southern Dane, and is now beginning to move into southern portions of Jefferson County itself. Out along that, continuing to have severe thunderstorm warnings producing hail through Janesville and eastward towards Lake Geneva and the Whitewater area. Do want to point that out. If you live in Janesville, if you live in Rock County, you live in Lake Geneva, you live in Elkhorn, you live in Walworth County, these are not tornadic thunderstorms, but they are producing gusty winds. We're seeing some large hail, and we're seeing some concerns from that in general, which of course can cause some additional problems. The tornadic threat, that continues to be into portions of Jefferson County. So let's kind of zoom back in here. Just got a new radar scan, and you can see that the rotation appears to be between Lake Mills and Fort Atkinson in this area right here. As mentioned, we are getting very close to the National Weather Service in Milwaukee. This is where their headquarters are in Sullivan. You can see the radar right there. You get too close to it, the data gets a little more scattered. So unfortunately, our data is going to become a little obstructed here, I think, as we get closer to the radar with each and every scan. As mentioned, the National Weather Service in Milwaukee now under a tornado warning as the storm moves eastward. Lake Mills, Fort Atkinson, eastward, I would say up to I-94. This is where the rotation is heading. So unfortunately, we are now heading back towards another interstate and another area that is going to be more heavily traveled and in a vulnerable state if we do have a tornado that continues to move through the area. I want to take a quick look at some of that new information coming down on this new tornado warning. Guys, I'm going to send it back to you for just 1 second.
We are getting a number of reports from friends, from people we know who live in the area, so I can't tell you enough how concerning it is to be out and about during conditions like this. One of these is a report of an issue with a vehicle, and we are trying to get more information about that. So if you're in the path of the storm as it continues to head east, know that it wreaked havoc in northern Rock County, lots of damage reports, and it really is something that needs to be taken seriously.
Yeah, and that's something, as we mentioned, we called Rock County Dispatch, and they were very busy. So, you know, they are going to be working around in that area. So definitely have some patience. We also do have a crew on the road out to Evansville. We should be there in about the next 20 minutes, so we should be able to get a live shot up to give you a better idea of what's been happening there. And
we appreciate all of the tips that you've been sending to us, either into the newsroom or to each of us individually. It really helps helps us to be able to look into those and then share them with our broader audience. So thank you for doing that. Doogs, we'll go back to you for an update.
Lee, Mark, thank you so much. Just took a look at that new warning that includes central and eastern portions of Jefferson County. That's going to be going until 7 o'clock tonight, so that's about a half hour from now. There's a little bit of good news, as I was talking about in the last segment here. We were starting to see a little bit of a weakening trend. This is now a radar indicated tornado, meaning we have not had any confirmed reports that this is on the ground in the last 5, 10 to even 15 minutes. So the storm is still rotating, but it appears, at least temporarily and hopefully for good, that this has lifted back up and is not currently on the ground. That can change really at any point in time, and why we need to continue to take this seriously. If you live into Jefferson County itself, this is where the storm is. So basically the entirety of Jefferson County, be putting your tornadic precautions into place right now. Remember, we're always looking for the development of the tornado. The storm initially starts to rotate. You get that rotating wall cloud. Eventually you get that funnel cloud, and then if that reaches the ground, it becomes what is technically called a tornado. And we've been having all of those in the last 30 to 45 minutes. You just saw a change there as expected. Looks like we've had that tornado warning officially dropped for Dane County and all of Rock County. The tornado warning no longer includes any part of Dane and does not include any portion of Rock County. It only includes Jefferson County now, and this is basically central and eastern portions of Rock County. So this will be Jefferson County. This will be the area that continues under the tornado warning until 7 o'clock. Again, Rock County, Dane County, tornado warning has been allowed to expire. Still have the severe thunderstorm warning for Rock County, though. That is primarily due to a storm that is producing just a little bit of hail. Going to zoom this out one more time for you. Again, you can see this is the storm that's producing hail. This is the one that's producing more in the way of tornadic development, and what we're going to continue to keep an eye on. So, quick recap if you're just tuning in. It's 6:30 right now. Typically, we're finishing up WMTV 15 news at 6. We've been on since a little after 5 talking about these severe storms moving and racing through southern Wisconsin. We initially had that tornado report in Albany, and that was around the Greene County area, moving into Rock County, Footville, Evansville. We had reports of the tornado on the ground. It became what appears to be very strong through northern portions of Rock County and right along the Dane County line. That is now pushed out of both Rock and Dane County and into Jefferson County, with the tornadic threat really being into central portions of Jefferson County up to about the interstate and eastward to about the Sullivan area. So this is our lingering tornado warning. It does appear it has been in a weakening phase, which continues to be a little bit of good news. We're getting later into the evening. We're getting closer to the lake, and, well, the ingredients are just not there to produce widespread tornadic storms anymore. So there is a little bit of good news in that aspect. I'll throw the hail map on here real quick. We have the hail down into Rock County. There's a little hail core here just to the east of Jefferson. Velocity continues to show broad rotation. That's in the fact that you see a lot of red, you see a lot of green. So the entire storm is rotating. What we are not seeing anymore is that tight couplet where over a couple miles we were seeing very strong winds in both directions. So that continues to show me and tell me that this probably is not a tornadic storm on the ground anymore. It continues to be good news. The storm is still rotating. The tornado warning is still in place. You need to be treating this as if there is a tornado, because this could drop a tornado at any point in time. But at least temporarily, it is not looking as strong as it was just a little bit ago, as it does move off to the east. And as Mark was mentioning, these storms, they're moving fast. We've been tracking anywhere from 40 to 60 mile an hour movement off to the east and northeast through the evening hours. And these storms really started moving in around 4 o'clock this afternoon. Here we are pushing at 6:30, and they've almost traversed the entirety of southern Wisconsin. It's not going to be too much longer, and they're going to be towards Milwaukee and eventually over Lake Michigan and kind of fizzling out. And as a whole, things are looking to kind of taper down as we move through the next hour or two. You can see back to the west, there's not a whole lot of concern. There's some lingering showers on the back side of this. These are not anticipated to be on the severe side. You may get some thunder, you may get some heavier downpours. I don't anticipate this stuff kind of going severe as the evening hours progress. Any remaining severe weather potential would be through southeastern Wisconsin. And this is going to be, it looks like, south and east of Madison now. So Dane County, Madison, you are now in the clear from any type of severe weather, it looks like, as we roll through the next 30 or 40 minutes. Janesville, northward, even down towards Beloit, lingering cell right here. That is producing a little bit of hail. Let's take a look at that cell real quick here. And still showing the potential of some nickel to maybe quarter-size hail. Hail not looking as great of a threat as it was just a little bit ago. We still see a little peak there where we have the tornado warning. And then also now north of Janesville and really getting closer to northern portions of Rock County still have the potential of some nickel to quarter-size hail there. That also, though, does appear to be in a weakening trend. Okay. One more look here at the tornado warning through Jefferson County, east of Lake Mills, east of Jefferson, kind of getting a little closer to the outlet malls here. You can see that that's where the rotation is. New scan just coming in. Very broad rotation, in my opinion, which is great news because this is not indicative of a tornado being on the ground. It's indicative of the storm rotating. There's a chance it could get its act together and produce a tornado. But at this point in time, it's looking to be less in the way of a tornado actually on the ground and more the storm rotating. So that is some positive news. Does not mean you should be taking this any less seriously. You still need to be in your tornado safe place. You can see our radar is right here. This is where the National Weather Service Milwaukee is located in the Sullivan area. And they're actually putting their own tornado precautions into place as the tornado warning includes them. And that's going to be for the next 20 minutes or so. This is going until about 7 o'clock tonight, and this is where we'll be continuing to see it. I'm going to toss it back to Mark real quick. Do we have anything else to kind of talk about?
We need to give Brian a drink of water here as he's been talking for quite a while.
Thanks,
Lee has brought that for him. Yeah, this has been a fast-moving storm, which is a good sign. In some cases, you don't want a tornado lingering over an area for very long, but we are still getting reports in, of power outages, and we knew that there were some funnel clouds, possible funnel clouds, as this storm moved through. Now we're getting reports of the damage possibly left behind by that.
In fact, our sales manager, Becky Noel, sent a video in that shows that funnel cloud going through northern Rock County. It's very visible. We're working to turn that around. We'll certainly be able to share that with you soon. Also, Tanya, I want to thank you for the heads up that sirens are going off again in Jefferson. As Brian was just talking about that area, sirens are going off. She reported large hail, so that is the area now where you still want to be taking this seriously.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. And like we were saying, it was around central Jefferson County, Johnson Creek, the outlet malls there. Moving towards Sullivan, Jefferson itself. This is where the tornado warning continues until 7 o'clock. Have not had any reports of a tornado on the ground in the last 15, 20 minutes. That continues to be excellent news. I did just get a report around the Johnson Creek area of some significant hail, not necessarily in terms of the size. I think it was about quarter size, a little bit under, but there was a large amount of it that fell, and kind of even looks like it snowed a little bit in that area. So this continues to be a hail producer as well. Again, this is along I-94 here. I don't know if we have any cameras we can pull up on the interstate there to take a look at what's happening, but that is definitely where we're seeing more in the way of hail now and less in the way of the tornadic thunderstorm development. Still, though, have the tornado warning until 7. We've had downstream severe thunderstorm warnings issued now to the east of that. What that means is that, like I was saying, the storm is not exhibiting the tornadic features it was just a little bit ago. And if all goes as planned, we'll likely transition these into severe thunderstorm warnings and not a tornado warning, which would be the best case scenario. And this will honestly be beginning to exit our area, it looks like, as we head into the next 15 or 20 minutes as well. We'll take another look at the velocity to kind of reiterate what I'm saying. And yes, you can see broad rotation. We're seeing a large area of red and a large area of green. What does that mean? The entire system is rotating. What we're not seeing anymore is that tight couplet where there was a well-defined circulation, which indicates a tornado. This is more of a broad rotation. And while the storm is rotating high into the atmosphere, it is not rotating at the ground. And at least in the last 15 to 20 minutes, we have not had a report of this tornado continuing to be on the ground. So we'll hope that trend continues. There's still the chance that at any point in time, this may produce a tornado. It may at times be briefly producing one, kind of lifting back up into the clouds. that's the nature of tornadic storms in general and why you get the tornado warning, and why, whether it's on the ground, whether it's in your area, if you are under the warning, you need to be just putting your precautions into place and being prepared for the unexpected and being prepared for the worst case scenario, because we saw that back to the south and west through northern Rock and eastern Greene and southern Dane County. What will likely be confirmed earlier as a strong tornado moved through that region. Of course, we're working to get more information on that. The Weather Service will be out as we head through tomorrow, kind of surveying the damage and the reports that come into that area. But I'm optimistic that the storm is showing a little bit of a weakening trend from a tornadic standpoint, and this is going to continue moving off to the east and may end up being more of a general wind producer and perhaps just a little bit of a hail producer as we inch towards the 7 o'clock time frame tonight. So coming up on 6:40 right now. If you're just tuning in, we are in this storm coverage for a tornado that was on the ground earlier and a tornado warning that continues to be in place for central and eastern portions of Jefferson County. I know this is not impacting our entire region, but this has had a history of producing tornadic storms, and why we continue to focus on this and kind of protect people that are in the path of this as we move towards the 7 o'clock time frame. Rock, Walworth County, you're under the severe thunderstorm warning. You're experiencing some hail. You're experiencing some general gusty winds. Jefferson County, you continue to be the area that is at most risk for seeing additional tornadic development. We just got a new scan of the radar, so we'll take another look at the velocity. That is telling me where the winds are going in what direction. Continue to be looking more at broad rotation from this vantage point right here. As mentioned, we're getting closer to the radar. We can get a little messy there in the data and how accurate it is, so that's another concern. National Weather Service Milwaukee, it's situated right there in the Sullivan area, and of course that is where we get a lot of our data and radar data from, being the closest radar to the Madison area. If all goes as planned, it looks like this will be allowed to expire as we get a little closer to 7 o'clock tonight, and the storms will race through, and hopefully we'll be able to start getting out and getting some damage assessments. People will be able to start cleaning up, and we'll be able to start taking note of what exactly unfolded this evening. It was all relatively quickly since 4 o'clock this afternoon. Just in the last 2 to almost 3 hours now, we've had what appears to be the first ever reported tornado in the month of February, something we do not talk about or get all that often this time of year here in Wisconsin. As mentioned earlier, only the second time we've ever had even a risk of severe weather in the month of February, let alone anything that resembles a tornado or something of that severity in nature. Once again, severe thunderstorm warnings for Rock and Walworth County. That's going to be going until a little after 7 o'clock tonight. That tornado warning going until 7 o'clock tonight as well for the Jefferson area and points eastward. Lee, Mark, any new information you guys are getting?
Yeah, Brian, we've gotten some great video, as we've been mentioning throughout the night, into our area, and we wanted to show you one we got from Brandon. We had mentioned this earlier. Take a look at this. This is a funnel cloud that says east of 104. We don't have a whole lot of information about it, but take a look at that.
And I can tell you 104 runs from Broadhead to Brooklyn, and just east of 104 is the city of Evansville. And so that same area that we were pinpointing and talking about, I mean, that's pretty scary to watch that lightning and that clear funnel cloud as it makes its way toward that farm. We are working to get information from emergency management in Rock County and elsewhere. And as soon as we learn more information, we will, of course, share it with you.
And we just got reports in. We talked about that car incident you talked about before. We just talked to Rock County Dispatch. They say a call came in at 5:55 p.m. for a car that got hit by a tornado. The fire department is on scene. Ambulance is on scene. No one has been taken to the hospital. So it's good that there were no injuries in that. But just from that video that you've seen and some of these calls coming in, this is how serious the situation's been.
And that is really good news, because that location, I looked it up, is east of Evansville. It was right on County Highway M. That's the area where that tornado went straight through, and now we know did hit a car, and we really hope whoever was in it is okay.
Yeah, and Brian, sirens being heard in Fort Atkinson as well.
Yes, this has been a developing situation here this evening. Fort Atkinson continues to be kind of on the western extreme of where this tornado warning continues to be in place, which is central and east central portions of Jefferson County. You're probably hearing the sirens throughout the county, and you should be putting your tornado procedure into place replaced because, as mentioned, this storm has had a history of producing tornadoes, and what may actually have been a pretty significant tornado through northern portions of Rock County. We are just getting all those reports, as Mark was mentioning, and Lee and Elizabeth, of some damage coming in that vicinity. And I think that's where we're going to see a lot more of reports coming in through the evening hours. Did get a report out of the Jefferson area of some significant tree damage. It does not appear to necessarily be associated with an actual tornado. That may have been more some straight line wind. But again, that's kind of the newest damage report that we just got in when I was looking at some of the reports here a minute ago. And that continues down towards Fort Atkinson, where again they're hearing the sirens and where the tornado warning extends to the east as well. All right, just in the last minute there, you saw a change, and as expected, with the continued more broad rotation that we've been seeing with this storm, we've allowed that tornado warning to expire. We've replaced it with a severe thunderstorm warning. That'll go until 7 o'clock tonight. So the tornado warning, just in the last minute here, has been allowed to expire for Jefferson County. It's being replaced with a severe thunderstorm warning. There's potential of 50-mile-an-hour winds and quarter-size hail, so still a threat for that. But it looks like the tornadic threat right now is beginning to move out and beginning to kind of wind down. That is great news. With that being said, I want to widen the map out here. I want to show you a wider look at the radar and show you that at this point in time, at 6:45 in the evening on Thursday, we are now completely clear of tornadic thunderstorms and tornado warnings in southern Wisconsin. This is wonderful news because over the last 2 to 3 hours, we've been tracking tornadoes. Now we are not seeing anything that resembles that in nature. The storms are moving into an area that is not as favorable for severe weather and tornadic development. Getting closer to the lake, the air is cooler. It's getting later into the evening. Things are just working against the storm. So this continues to be good news, and it continues to be something we'll watch. But again, I want to emphasize that the tornado warnings have been allowed to expire at this time. We are going to be keeping a close eye on everything that kind of develops here through the evening hours. Our crews are out. We're going to be making a lot of calls, and we're going to be compiling all of this information for you as we head through the next couple of hours. So keep it here, keep it online, and we will keep you updated. We'll have our next newscast coming up at 9 o'clock and, of course, 10 o'clock as we head through the evening. And anything else that develops, we'll be sure to let you know. But I think at this point in time, we can return you to regular programming. The tornado warnings have been allowed to expire. The severe thunderstorm warnings are moving out of our region, and the risk, at least for southern Wisconsin, looks to be improving at this point in time. So very good news as we move past 6:45 on our Thursday evening. Again, we'll keep an eye on things, but for now, I think we can return you back to some regular programming.